expansion, also called as binomial theorem. As the name says, it's a theorem. Fine. You're supposed to use specific formulas to get the answers, but more than getting the specific formulas, you should understand as to what the question is trying to ask us. I'll tell you what I mean. So let's say any question which is in the form of a minus b or a plus b for that matter to the power n. Now, what and all has to be kept in mind while solving this. Again, is this chapter important? 100% important. There is a derivation in this chapter. The question says derive binomial theorem. That will for sure come for a 5 mark. That's a faster derivation. Now, that won't be done in today's class. We'll just try to solve questions based on it. Approximately, the weightage of this chapter will be around 8 to 9 marks. Okay. So, now let's say here, this is the only chapter I feel where a lot of other concepts in math come together and is being used here. Fine. So, basically here, if you guys see, inside the bracket, there are 2 parts. If you want to name the parts, it is nothing but A as well as B. A is the first part, B is the second part, and N is always the power, as you guys can see here. Fine. So how does the theorem go? The theorem, this specific theorem goes up to infinity. So should you learn the concept up to infinity? The answers are no. But you should minimum be able to solve up to 4 to 5 steps. Fine. Now, but I am actually not a big fan of using the word steps. I'm a big fan of using the word parts. Fine. So here in your answer side, guys, if you see, once I write, okay, I'll write all the parts one below the other. If I keep continuing like this, the board is not at all enough. That's the whole point. Fine. So this specific concept also involves another sub-concept called as combination. How it works, let's see. So understand, I told you I'm not a big fan of using the word steps. I'm a big fan of using the word parts. Fine. Every part here will be divided into 3 subparts. I'll repeat that. So how many parts will be there? How many main parts will be there? Up to infinity. You can write up to infinity. But each and every part will be having 3 subparts. Very important it is. The first part will always involve the power, which is nothing but n. The second part will always involve a. The third part will always involve b. Okay, I'll repeat that. One main part, the first main part. Okay, again, what should make more sense here is you should be able to frame the first part properly. Only after framing the first part properly, all the remaining parts you'll be able to get that within like no time. So the first part is the most important part. Again, in the first part, how many subparts will it have? It will have 3 subparts. Where the first subpart will always belong to n. Second subpart A. Third subpart B. Now, how does it start off? It starts off like this. You copy paste the power as it is blindly, n. You'll put cap C. C means combination. Now, do we know how to solve combination questions? Not yet, but I will teach you. But let's focus here. Again, I told you this is where we're starting from. Always realize when I use the word numbers in math, any number line or number system starts off with what number? With 0. So I write NC 0 first. Okay. Now, again, as I told you, I am trying to frame the first complete part. In that main part, 3 subparts, out of which the first part belongs to n and that part is done. I'll keep a dot here. Okay. Now, second part, as I told you, belongs to whom? Belongs to A. So you write A. Okay. And you also write n minus r into p to the power r. Fine. Now, obviously, one question will be in your mind. Automatically, sir, in A and B, R came up. What is the meaning of R or what is the value of R? Value of R, always understand. You will come across this value of R in 2 places in first year math and many places in second year math. Both the places I tell you. First place is here in this concept called as binomial theorem. You will come across R also in this chapter called as probability. I know that you guys had 10th standard probability, but you wouldn't have learned about R there. But here you'll be learning about R. Fine. R is very simple. Look at what number you wrote below C. That's the value of R. Getting it? So will the value of R keep on changing from part to part? 100% yes. It cannot be a constant. Okay. But if I give you A minus B to the power 4, here the value of n always remains to be 4. It will never change. But here R will always keep on changing. Now my first part is complete. My first part is complete. In fact, instead of me writing R, I can also write n minus 0 and b to the power 0. They will still give me marks. The reason I did not do that is because I wanted to introduce the meaning of R to you guys. Instead of writing R, 1 second. I'll write 0 right now. N minus 0, and it will be 0 here. But don't you think n minus 0 is anyways n, and b to the power 0 is anyways 1. So first part is done. First main part is done. Always remember, the sign between the parts is always a plus. So you put a plus in between. Again, in your books, you guys will continue from your left to your right. I don't have space. Now, please focus. Again, I am trying to frame my second part. Any part will again have how many subparts? 3 subparts. Well, the first subpart belongs to N, second subpart belongs to A, and the third subpart belongs to B. We'll follow the same rules here, but focus here. How do you not mess up the second part or the third part? Very simple. Look at the part before. In this case, this is already framed here. Okay. And I actually am not comfortable writing n minus 0. I know the answer. What is n minus 0? N itself. So I'll just write n. I'll just write n. I'll write 0 here. Getting it? Now please focus. Here, you will write n as it is because I told you that is the only thing which remains constant throughout. Fine. C's meaning is English meaning. C means combination. You can't change English meaning in math. So you just write C here also. Fine. Now focus. Very, very, very important analogy. Where it was 0 initially, this becomes 1. Okay. Here, dot. A to the power n minus 1 dot b to the power 1. Obviously, you'll be like, what's actually happening? I'll tell you a small trick. Very simple. Observe both the parts. I'll tell you a small trick. In the first subpart, the number increases by 1. In the second subpart, it decreases by 1. In the third subpart, it increases by 1. That's all. That's the hint. So what's the hint? First, it increases, then it decreases, then it increases again. By how much? By 1. Always by 1. So let me flip the third part. Again, what number should be between the parts? I mean, what sign should be between the parts? Plus. Blindly put a plus. What will never change? N will never change. C will never change. Again, I told you, N, what do we do first? We increase by how much? 1. So it becomes NC2 dot A to the power. The second part decreases by 1. Becomes N minus 2 dot. The third part again increases by 1. It becomes B to the power 2. Okay? It keeps on going. Up to when? Up to what part? Until this 2 here reaches up to N. This specific number here. Okay, I'll give you an easier example. But before that, I mean, okay, fine. Don't copy. Wait. I'll give another example. It's easier right now. Let's assume it to be 2x minus 3y whole to the power 4. Okay. Please don't get confused. To confuse you guys only, I use 2, 3, and 4 consecutive numbers. You should not get confused. But first of all, try to realize what are the values of A, B as well as C. A, B as well as N. You don't know how to solve combination. I know that. We are not talking about that. We're just talking about framing the part. Okay. Let's go back to the question. I realize that the value of A is 2x. The value of B is 3y. If you observe the pattern what I'm trying to use, I am not telling A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3. I am telling 2x, 3y, and the value of N is equal to 4. Now focus. Again, here I wrote N here. This was because my question had N in it. You should not write N here because your question has 4 in it. Fine. We start off always with the power. You write the power first. 4, C. Always any number system will start with what number? 0. 4C, 0. For subpart number 1 done. You'll put a small into there. Okay. Followed by A means, the value of A is 2x. Because it is 2x, since there are 2 things being involved there, I use brackets. Brackets 2x. It says N, but actually N minus 0 not here. So basically, 4. What is 4 minus 0? It's anyways 4 itself. Okay. Dot. 3y. 3y as it is. Actually supposed to take it along the sign itself. It's completely fine. Okay, fine. I'll change this question. I'll make it plus. Let's not complicate. You should always take it along the sign. Remember that. So you take 3y and this becomes 0. Okay. Now plus. This is for example, let's say you're taking around 3 minutes to solve the question approximately. Please spend 35 seconds to 40 seconds only on this part. Get this part properly because next the answer is going to be very simple. How? You put a plus there. What remains constant? 4 and C remains constant. You copy the 4, you copy the C. Increase, decrease, increase. increases by 1, decreases by 1, increases by 1. So this is my newer part. Am I done? Not yet done. Plus, you should not look at this. Always look at the latest parts. Look at this. What remains the same? 4. C. Again, same logic. Guys, go step by step. You copy paste whatever the constant is, then you increase by 1. You decrease by 1. You increase by 1. Should we keep on going? No. Few more steps. It won't go up to infinity is what I'm trying to mean. Again, what remains constant? 4C. Increase by 1. Decrease by 1. Increase by 1. Plus 4C as it is. Increase by 1. Dot. 2x. Decrease by 1. 1 minus 0 is 0. Okay, I might as well take it. It's 3 here. Then 3y to the power 4. So where do you stop? When this number and this number, when both of them become equal, you stop at that point of time. What should you realize? You should realize that you're supposed to take it along with the signs. Okay, along with the signs, in the sense, if it is plus, if it is a minus, you should always take it along with the signs. No skipping signs. That's what I'm trying to mean. So typically, how many parts does my answer have right now? It has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 parts I'm supposed to solve, and this will carry 3 to 5 marks in your exam. Typically, it's a 5-mark question. Okay, but this exactly won't be asked. I'll tell you what all will be asked from this chapter. Binomial theorem derivation will be for a 5-marker. Okay. There's also one concept, I can predict the question also, no worries. There's one concept called as finding the middle term. Middle term. Using the same concept as supposed to find. Okay. We still haven't got there. Once we get there, realize that's a 3-marker. Okay. And an easier question like this. Easier in the sense, not lengthy. The power won't be 4. It might be 1, 2, 3. Okay. It won't be again, it'll be 3 minimum. Why tell? If it is to the power 1, we know the answer. What is a to the power 1? A itself. Okay. If it is power 2, why do you apply binomial theorem? You can get the answer using a plus b the whole square. Correct. So they won't tend to ask. But if it is power 3, you can tend to use cube also. But they might ask that because not everybody are so good with cubes. Fine. So, but I always thought that, I mean right now also, I always think that minimum 4 has to be given, but sometimes they're given 3 also. That keeps on depending from changing from year to year. Not to worry. But end of the day, this is important, and MCQ also will come. MCQ is very simple. I'll tell you how to take the answer without even solving it. That will be for, I think we'll have 1 MCQ and 1 more mark will have. 2 marker will have. 2 marker. This 2 marker, I'll tell you how it is. It'll be a similar question. They'll be like, find the coefficient of. You won't realize what I'm taking right now, but I'll name it as coefficient. That's what they'll ask. So right now, write that as binomial theorem. Copy these 4 things first, and then I'll come back to this place. So initially copy this. So it's a very important chapter in terms of marks. Derivation 5 marker, middle term 3 marker, MCQ 1 marker, and 1 2 marker. Always along with the sign now.
So trigonometry was the weightage, sir?
Trigonometry is almost the same.
So they tell it, my sir told it's 21 marks, sir.
Hey. Not done.
Sir, and
21.
one sum I sent you yesterday and you were like, just go through it. That also came, but I didn't go through it. I didn't have notes only for that.
Which one, tell?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Forget. Done with this? Copy this now. I mean, I've got a watch you guys to copy this itself, but I'm not a big fan of this. Okay. With a question, it makes more sense. Fine. I'll write the trick somewhere here. First we increase, then we decrease, then we again increase, all by 1. We'll solve one question based on this. I'll solve one complete question I'll solve, because I'm supposed to teach how to solve combination also. Then we'll go back to the 2 marker. Copy this. Done. Now first I teach how to solve combination questions, and then we'll solve a easier question based on this. Then we'll move on to coefficient. Okay. First of all, what do you mean by combination? Arrangement is called as permutation. That selection, you guys know the meaning of it. Not to worry. Even if you don't know, not to worry. Okay. I'll teach you one small trick here. It's a formula-based concept. We'll try to get the answer. Let's say you get the answer as the question as 3C, fine. 3C2, fine. This is the question. I'll give you a general formula first, and then we'll use the general formula to get the answer. The general formula is, let's say, NCR. Okay. N is top, R is the bottom. C means combination. The formula goes like this: N factorial, okay, divided by N minus R factorial into R factorial. You'll get confused, I know. And first of all, I don't know if you guys know the meaning of factorial. For example, very simple. Factorial means that, example, 4 factorial is given. Fine. Whatever number is given to us, start with that number, go up to 1. Descending order. Go up to 1. After 4, what comes? 3 comes. After 3, what comes? 2 comes. After 2, 1 comes. Only thing to remember, between all these numbers, blindly put an into sign. That's the meaning of factorial. Let's say for 6 factorial, okay, we start with what letter? 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Goes up to 1. Now, there's another way of writing it. I'll tell you how. Focus. Instead of writing 6 factorial, in a simplified way, I can write it as 6 into 5 factorial. Correct me if I'm wrong. Vital. What is 6 factorial? 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Correct. Or better example, listen up. I can write 4 factorial also as, instead of writing 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, what is this answer? 3, 2, 1 is 3 factorial. Correct? So this is also another way of writing it. So I can write 4 factorial as 4 into 3 factorial. In fact, I can also write 4 factorial as 4 into 3 into 2 factorial also. Correct? All these things has to be remembered. Fine. Now, if you ask me what is 1 factorial, the answer is 0. Okay? That's That's actually a very controversial answer. Why and all I'm supposed to prove that, but at this point of time, no time. So we'll skip that. 1 factorial is nothing but 0. Remember that. Later I'll tell you how. Okay. But let's come back to the specific answer. How do we solve this? The question says 3C2. First of all, write the form. What's the form? This is the form. N. Figure out what your N is in the question. 3. You write 3 factorial. Divided by. What is N minus R? What is 3 minus 2? 1. 1 factorial. Wrong question, guys. 1 second. Wait. You got the 1 factorial as 0. No, so you won't get an answer there. Wait. I'll give you something else. Maybe. I'll give 5C3. 5C3. 5 factorial. Divided by. What is 5 minus 3? 2. Into R factorial. What is R in our question? 3. Therefore, we write it to be 3 factorial. This is the form. Now see what I'm going to very smartly you should solve. I should simplify this. I have no time to write 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So smartly what I write? I'll write 5 factorial as 5 into 4 into, instead of writing 3 into 2 into 1, I'll compress them and write it in terms of 3 factorial. Obviously one question is there in your mind. Sir, why? Because in the denominator, there is already 3 factorial. I'll be able to cancel them directly. That's the reason. Got it? Now, if you ask me, sir, can I expand it completely and then cancel? Yes, you can do it. Waste of time. Now, what is left? 5 into 4 is left. Think for a second. What is 2 factorial? 2 factorial is nothing but 2 into 1, right? 2 into 1, right? So, 1 is otherwise useless. Cancel the 2, cancel the 4. 5 times 2, the answer is 10. So, if the question is 5C3, the answer for that is 10. Should you mark up? No. We will sit and solve like this. Like this. Let's solve one more. Let's solve a bigger number.
So, if you expand the 3 factorial,
you get the same answer.
How will you get the same answer? It will be 5 into 4, 3, 2 and 1, no?
I'll solve the same thing with expanding. Wait. This part you understood?
Yeah, I understood.
Wait. You are telling we'll expand completely, no?
Yeah. You'll get a different answer,
no? No, wait. What is 5 factorial? 5 into?
4, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Don't multiply.
In the end, we shouldn't write a factorial. Oh, that's the expansion. Okay, sir. Nothing.
This one, no, I expanded it. Yeah. 2 factorial is what? 2 into 1.
Yeah.
Into again. What is 3 factorial? 3 into 2 into 1. Correct?
Okay, yeah, now I get. For that, if we expand the numerator completely, we have to expand the denominator also completely.
Yeah. Okay, you can't do one. You can't be biased there. You should be fair there. Got it? Yeah. I'll give you a question. So let's say 10C7. First of all, I can go to the previous slide, but I won't. Let's try to figure out. Let's try to remember the formula. It says n factorial first. So 10 factorial as it is divided by, what is 10 minus 7? It is 3. People stop here. You should not. Remember, combination means R factorial has to be copy pasted there. Don't forget. Now, the reason I thought it is compressing is because of these numbers. If you actually practically think, it is too huge for us to start off at 10 and go up to 1. It is going to take a lot of time for everybody. So what's going to happen? A better choice is trying to compress it, which means 10 factorial can be written as 10 into 9 into 8 into 7. I'll stop there because I can find 7 factorial in my denominator. I write 7 factorial and I have absolutely zero patience to go up to 1 here. Okay. And even if you go to 1, I feel you guys are dumb because you have a 7 factorial waiting to get cancelled there. Why are we trying to do that? Okay. Which means I know I intentionally stopped at 7 factorial to cancel with this. 3 factorial I'll expand because it's actually simple. What is 3 factorial? 3 into 2 into 1 into 7 factorial as it is. Both of them gets cancelled. 2 times with 4 and 3 times with 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 10 is 120 is the answer for that. That's all. Okay. 120 is the answer for that. Let's try one more question. Moderate question I'll give. Not that big, not too small also. But I'll make sure that the difference between the numbers is like too huge. Okay, one thing I want to prove. I want to prove one thing to you guys. I'll show you what. 9C1. Let's see what the answer is. 9C1. Formula says n 9 as it is by what is 9 minus 1? 8 factorial into 1 factorial. Okay, fine. For the next 2 minutes, ignore the 1 factorial. Okay. I'll tell you one more thing, don't get confused. 0 factorial is also 1. Okay. It's the other way around. You will get confused, but don't get confused. That's what I'm trying to tell you. At this point of time, what should you remember as 1 factorial? Okay. Right now, remember 1 factorial to be 1 itself. 0 factorial also to be 1. How? Not required at this point of time. Now focus. 9 factorial, I'll try to expand, but I'm not done that dumb also. I have a 8 factorial in the denominator. I'll use it. So what I'm going to do, I'll do 9 into 8 factorial. I'll stop here because I know that it is waiting for me to get cancelled there. Divided by 8 factorial into 1 as it is. Now, gets cancelled. The answer is 9. Okay. Let's try for 8C1. I want to prove one thing to you with this way. Let's try 8C1. Fine. So here, the answer will be 8 factorial divided by 8 minus 1 is 7 factorial into 1 factorial. So if you expand this, not completely, 8 into 7 factorial divided by 7 factorial into 1 gets cancelled 8. Observe one concept here. Whenever the value of r is equal to 1, the answer is always equal to n. I hope you guys got that. Whenever the value of r or whatever is below c is equal to 1, the answer is always n. Check that. See here also. R is equal to 1. Okay, you want me to do with, you want to do for, let's say, give me 120, we'll try. So, random number. 120 C1. Okay. I told you if the value of R is equal to n, then the answer should be equal to n. That's what I told you. Let's prove for this. It's a very big number. What is the formula? 120 factorial as it is divided by what is 120 minus 1? 119 factorial into 1 factorial, it's nothing but 1. This is useless. I'll write 1. Okay. What is, I can write 120 factorial as what? 120 into 119 factorial divided by 119 factorial gets cancelled. So when r is equal to 1, the answer is always equal to 1. Sorry, n. Fine. So I'll tell you where this is useful. Look at this. The second step, r is equal to 1, which means what's the answer for 4C1? 4. Without even solving. What's the answer for 4C1? 4. Can I tell the same answer for 4C2? No, I'm supposed to solve for that. Okay. Only when the answer of r is equal to 1, I'll be able to get the answer just like that. I'll give you a few more tricks. Okay. I won't give you, we'll try. Let's say we're trying to do, again, I told you what? 0 factorial is equal to how much? 1. Why? Don't ask me at this point of time. It's a very controversial question, I tell you. Let's try one thing. Let's try, okay, 4C0. Okay, 4C0. We'll apply the formula first. N factorial as it is divided by, what is 4 minus 0? 4 factorial into 0 factorial. Again, I am not forgetting it. Just because it is 0 factorial, no forgetting it. You should write it because even that has an answer and the answer is 1. Obviously, gets cancelled. So, after getting cancelled, 0 factorial is what? I told you 1. 1 by 1 is remaining. The answer is 1. Okay, let's try if this trick is working for everything. So, according to me, what might be the answer is? What might be the condition is? When the answer for r is equal to 0, then the answer is always equal to 1. This is what I feel. Let's see if it is correct, whatever I feel. Let's try some random number. Let's try 9. 9C0 gives us what? 9 factorial divided by, what is 9 minus 0? What is 9 minus 0? 9 factorial again into 0 factorial. 9 gets cancelled. What is 0 factorial? 1. 1 by 1. Do for any of the numbers, this trick will hold good. Okay. So I think I'll make a note of everything here. When r is equal to 0, then the answer is always equal to 1. Always. When r is equal to 1, then the answer is always equal to n. Question. But there is also one more case. What if n and r both are same? What happens when n is equal to r, we'll check what the answer is. Focus. Let's try with 4. I'm telling what if the answer is, what is the answer for 4C4? Let's try. 4 factorial as it is divided by 4 minus 4. What is it? 0 into 4 factorial as it is. Got it? I have read the formula. 1. Let's try for one more. 9C9. 9 factorial as it is. What is 9 minus 9? 0 factorial. 9 as it is. 0 factorial is 1. 1. 13. 13 factorial as it is. 13 minus 13, 0. Copy paste this as it is. 1. What did we get to know? We got to know when if n and r both are same, the answer is always equal to 1. These three tricks will save you a lot of time in your final exam. A lot of time. Any doubt in this part, ask me right now. If not, just copy. The trick is what I wanted to teach you guys. That's all. So the left part, if you copy, and more than enough. After this, we'll do the 2 marker, the coefficient one, whatever is required. And whatever I taught you right now, the same thing will be repeated in the chapter called as permutation combination, which means after attending today's class only, you'll be able to answer, you'll be able to get those questions also right in terms of the simple ones, MCQs. Those 3 points on the left hand side is important. Faster, faster, faster.
So we should only copy the tricks, no?
Yeah. The proving not required. The proving not required. Next. What I'm about to teach you now is a 2 marker. Or in this question also, there is one type is there where little brain is supposed to use. That will be like a 3 marker. Apart from that, it's a 2 marker kind of question. So please write the subheading as find the coefficient of. You will just copy the question and you'll wait for me to solve. Okay. Find the coefficient of x power 5 in just copy the question. I will solve. You will not even don't even try. Okay. I'll tell you what these questions can also be called as. These questions can also be called as teeth term. Does it make sense? Not teeth. Nth term that the teeth term that doesn't make a sense. It doesn't make any sense according to me. But how to solve this? I'll tell you. First of all, what do they mean? They're like here. See, if you look at the power, okay, 8. So I'll tell you a small concept. For that concept, I'll give you a reference also here. Wait. Yeah. We'll come back here where we started off. Okay. This someone you guys understood. I know that. Power was 4. Okay. Let's count in my answer how many parts were there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So which means how much ever the power is plus 1, I'll get my answer as. I apply the same logic to right now whatever we're learning. I have power as 8, which means I'm expected to get 9 answers. Do you think, in that 9 answers, one of the parts will have x power 5 in it. Now, which part I don't know. That's our job. Okay. Now, the word coefficient meaning, let's say by chance, the answer was 120 x to the power 5 after solving it. The word coefficient meaning whatever number is next to x power 5, that will be my final answer. But first of all, where will x power 5 come only is a big thing. You might tell, sir, fifth term. No guarantee. No guarantee at all. Fine. So, how do we solve these kind of questions? Very important. Focus here. Okay. We start with the regular method, whatever I taught you for framing this part. Remember, okay, here. Remember this part here? I use the same logic. Instead of using numbers, I use letters, R and all those things. Fine. First question, we'll try to go over that only, but just focus here. What I'm trying to write. Always understand these kind of coefficient questions. 80%, 85% of your class people will get it wrong. 85%, my challenge. Okay. They won't understand itself. Forget about getting the answer, they won't understand itself. You should not be in that state. Realize when you're trying to find the answer for coefficient, there should always be two sides. One is your left hand side, one is your right hand side. Not mine, yours. Careful. You always start with an equal to. Always fill your right side first, not your left side. That's the trick. Okay. Always fill the right side first, not the left side. Now, to fill the right side, you know what to do. You write N C R as it is. Careful. Inside the bracket, how many parts are there? 2 parts are there. What are both the parts in this question? First part is x, second part is 3. Copy the parts. So you write first part as it is, to the power what? N minus R. Same thing what I taught you there. Then what is the second number? Second part, 3. To the power what? R. I'll repeat this part. Right hand side only will start filling first. Is there something on the left hand side? There is something. But you won't write at this point of time. There is always something there. Fine. Now focus. You will write NCR first. First part, all question.
So for the combination, why do you take NCR? Isn't it something different? Like you put some number in N or R, no?
Here, no. Yeah. Correct. Hey, Dhiraj, in this question, the value of N is equal to 8 and Gottado.
Yeah.
But I still haven't gone there only.
So, but you use the X as A and
I use the X here because if I use A and B, you'll get confused. That's why. Because if I use A and B, 2 more letters. I've already used N and R, no. To avoid that confusion only, I used of here.
So the letters. That's the general, no.
Correct. I mean, I realize, what you're telling is not wrong. You're telling why are we using X and 3? We can use A and B here to write the general form, correct? But what I'm thinking here is if I use A and B, first of all, I'm using 2 letters. Why again 2 more letters? That's what I thought. Getting it?
If you're using X and 3 instead of A and B, and you're not.
I can use N as 8, correct?
Yeah, why aren't you?
But the problem is, what is R?
I don't know.
That's the challenge. Got it? So, guys, if you focus there, you have no confusion now. Why A and B? I can use X and 3 only. That part you got, Dhiraj?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, fine. I'll come back to your thing in the next step. If you heard our conversation, okay, both of us, the question which I had, he almost had answers for everything except for what is the value of R. That's the challenge. Nobody will know the value of R because we will not know where this 5 is lying only. That's the whole point. So what I'm going to do right now, I wrote this. Once I'm completely done with the right hand side, cross check. Usually what I told you, you should have 3 subparts. Part 1, part 2, part 3. It has 3 subparts. I'm absolutely on track. I'll have to get the answers right now. Before I go to the next step, I'll fill my left hand side. Please focus. The left hand side goes like this. I told you, teeth term. I told you it didn't make any sense for me. I'll tell you why it doesn't make sense to me. You will write caps T, teeth term. In the subscript, you will write R plus 1. No, just R plus 1. If you ask me, sir, how do you remember this? Very simple. I told you the logic, no. If the power is 8, how many answers are we expecting? 8 plus 1. So plus 1 is happening. So therefore, that's how we remember it. That's not how they teach you in college, but that's how we should remember it. Fine. So how many answers are we expecting here? We are expecting 9 parts to be the answer. Why 9? 8 is given plus 1. So R plus 1. That's all. Now, what can be done? What has to be done? And isn't this useful at all? This is useful in the next step. In the next step, as Dhiraj told, what we'll do, Ignore the left hand side, don't write anything. On the right hand side, whatever value you guys know, go for it. Okay. So I know the value of n, 8. C, I don't know the value of r. R dot x to the power.
So, but in the general form, you have written r as 0 and then 1, 2.
That's the general form.
Yeah, but
correct. Wait 1 second. In the general form, did I only write 0 or I wrote 0 in the first part, 1 in the second part, 2 in the third part, correct?
Yeah.
It kept on changing, no?
Yeah, it kept on
changing. In one of the parts, the answer is x to the power 5. Which part is that? Do you know?
No.
Exactly.
Start writing from 0, one of the parts will be x power 5, no?
But if you start writing, perfect, it will be x power 5.
Yeah.
So are you trying to tell me I'll find the answer in one of the 9 parts?
Yeah, I mean, that's how you...
No. That's correct. That's correct. You're right with me. I realize what you're trying to ask me. You're telling, if I write the expansion like this, 100% one of the answers will be x to the power 5. I tick that answer. Correct?
Yeah.
But don't you think this will take a lot of time?
Yeah, it will.
To save that time, I'm trying to pitch that method. Got it? Okay. Fine. So, I mean, any doubt here? No. Okay, fine. So, x as it is, 3 power r. Now listen, very simple. What was given to me in the guys, after this part only it becomes very simple. 1 second. I'll 3 power r plus 1 was there. I mark this to be my general equation. It's called as by reference. Now focus. Go back to your question. What am I supposed to find the question, or what is given to me in the question? X to the power 5 was given to me. So what I'm going to do right now, look at the general equation. It makes more sense for me to place the x here. Correct? Because x is here, I'll let x here. What was given to me in the question? X power 5. Okay, this actually gives me a reference. So if you see, both of them, I am supposed to equate them. That's all. Both of them I'm supposed to equate. So after equating, if you ask me why, to find the value of r. That's all. If you ask me why, to find the value of r. So again, if you ask me, sir, why are we placing the x term below 3? You should know the answer. Because x and 3 are not equal. That's why. Bases should be equal. Nice kind of stuff. Okay. So I place the x.
What about the other things
I don't know. I don't know. So ignore it. Whatever, that's what I'm trying to tell. Whatever was given to me, I utilize that. If something is not given, I don't care about that. That's all. Ignore it.
So okay. When you're writing the step, don't you have to write those and then write x to the power of 5?
No.
To the power of 5.
Correct. This part not telling.
Yeah, we have to write only that and the next step.
Only that. I mean, you won't write it like this. I tell you how to write it. I mean, you understand know the placement part of it. That's all. Yeah. That's what it is. So basically, both of them I'm supposed to equate it. Once you equate, I mean, why are equating it? As I told you, to find the value of r. So x to the power 8 minus r is equal to x to the power 5. X to the power 5. Bases are same and equal to sign in between, which means we equate the powers. Equating the powers. Don't write all these history, geography and all, this is only for you. So 8 minus r is equal to 5. Common sense. Send the r this side, send the 5 this side. So r will be equal to 8 minus 5. R is equal to 3. I'm actually very happy at this point of time because I know the value of r, which means the moment I take the value of r as 3 and put it in the general equation. I hope you guys realize as to what's the importance of general equation. You will find the value of r, you will come back, you will put the answer in the general equation. From which hand side? You will start this time not by the right hand side, but from the left hand side. Okay? So what has to be done? You know the value of r. Should you show this? Most important step. You will take the value of r, start substituting from the left hand side. So this becomes t, r plus 1, 3 plus 1, t4, which means fourth term was where x power 5 was lying there. Can we just do that by instinct? Impossible. There's a logic involved here. Is equal to 8c. What's the value of r? 3. Dot. X power 8 minus 3, 5. That's exactly what I wanted in the question. Dot. 3 power r is 3. Now solve this. Now solve this. Now, what can be solved? 8C3 can be solved. I'll solve it here. 8C3. What happens? It becomes 8 factorial divided by 8 minus 3 is 5 factorial by 3 factorial. I'll expand this up to where? Up to 5 factorial itself because I'm not dumb there. So 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 factorial. I stop there. Whole thing divided by 5 factorial into 3 factorial is nothing but 3 into 2 into 1 gets cancelled. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 gets cancelled. 7 times 8, 56. Yeah, 56 is my answer for 8C3. 3 cube. What's the answer? 27. So my final answer, T4 will be equal to, give me a minute, I'll calculate. 56 into 27, 1512. So T4 is equal to 1512. I just multiply both of them. X power 5. X power 5. This is my final answer. But they have asked me a coefficient. That's the coefficient. Okay, that's all. The answer will be 1512. Any doubt here? So first we get this part. Once you frame the general equation, you will go back to the, until then you will not see what's the main question. You will go back to the main question, find the value of R, take the value of R, come back and substitute in the general equation itself, and then get the final answer. So the final answer is not this. Don't get me wrong. The final answer is only 1512. Okay. How do I get 1512? 8C3 is 56. 3 cube is 27. Multiply both of them. You get 1512, and that's your coefficient. Copy this first. 1 second. Copy this quickly, and I'll go to the next slide. 2 minutes. Done. Go to the next slide. Again, T4 is important for us to write there. Means T4 means fourth term. If I use the word fifth term, it is called T5. Done. We'll solve one more question. This question is also important. Important meaning, I think you know the meaning of my important example. Example is this question is as appeared in the exam more than 4 to 5 times. This and the next question.
So when they ask for coefficient, do we write coefficient as 1.2 or could we like leave this as the answer?
No. This is not the answer. They won't give you marks for this. You should write coef is equal to 1512.
This is only a 2 marker.
This question it's a 2 marker. The next question is a 3 marker. But it's the same coefficient only. It's the I said you realize the difference. Next question, guys. I'll solve, but again, you'll also help me solve. What the fuck? 1 second. I lost somewhere. Yeah. Supposed to find the coefficient of same thing. A to the power 2. Sorry. A to the power 5 and B to the power 7 in A minus 2B to the power 12. Okay. Whatever the question might be, we'll start off with the we start off with the to find the general equation. Left hand side, I don't know. Right hand side, I won't write the general thing, I'll write the answer directly. NCR. N is what in this question? 12, which means I'm expecting 13 parts to be in my answer. In 13 parts, one of the parts will have A5, B to the power 7 there. I don't know what. I don't know what is an R itself. So here, N is 12. So I write 12, C, R, dot. Guys, careful for 2 minutes. First part is A as it is. A to the power N minus R. 12 minus R into. Guys, careful. Second part is 2b, wrong, minus 2b. As I told you, take it along the sign. Minus 2b to the power r. Right hand side completely done. Left hand side becomes t. What is the logic I told you? How many terms are there? Plus 1. R plus 1. That's my general equation. Now what to do? I'm supposed to find the value of r using the question. Question has A5 and B to the power 7. Carefully place them. A to the power 5 below A itself. B to the power 7 below B itself. Okay. Now, just start solving it. Obviously, you can't have two different answers for R. Never possible. So what I would do is you cross check. I would solve either A or B, but only one. Think what is more easier. If you tell me B, I will tell her no, because here the R belongs to, the power R belongs to both minus 2 and B. Not required. A, it's alone anyways, no, I'll use this. A power 5 and A to the power 12 minus R is there. I'll equate both of them. A power 12 minus R is equal to A power 5. B also, if you get the same answer, is just the I stick on to 1. So, bases are same. Equal to in between, we equate the powers. 12 minus R is equal to 5. So R will be equal to 12 minus 5. R will be equal to 7. Got it? R will be equal to 7. I got that. I'll take this value of R as 7. Substitute where? In the general equation. Careful. You can check for B as B with B also with the same answer. R is what? I forgot. 7. Cool. Should you show that? It's very important for you guys to show that. Okay, so it becomes t to the power r plus 1. 7 plus 1 gives you 8 is equal to, careful, 12c 7 into a power 12 minus 7 is 5. Answer, getting my answer. Into minus 2b to the power r is 7. Careful while solving the second part, okay, because minus 2 to the power 7 also has to be there. But before that, 12c7 is there. I'll solve 12c7 here. 12c7 is equal to 12 factorial as it is. 12 minus 7 is 5 factorial into 7 factorial. You will start solving 12 factorial not up to 1 but up to 7. Why? You know it can get cancelled. So 12 into 11 into 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 factorial divided by 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 into 7 factorial again. Gets cancelled. Now careful. 4 times 3 is 12. Don't be kids. Cancel off completely. 2 and 4. 5 times 2. So 11 into 2 into 9 into 4. Okay. Suppose to that. Wait, let's do it right now. 4 times 9 is 36. 36 times 2 is 72. 72 times 11 is 792. 792 is the answer for 12C7. 792 into, oh, sorry. A power 5. Now careful. Minus 2 is there. I'll split and right focus here. This 7 belongs to both the parts. So I'll write minus 2 to the power 7 into b to the power 7. I split it, wanted you to split it. Now focus. A to the power 5 and b to the power 7 made more sense when they were together. So what I'll do, I'll bring all the letters to one side, I'll bring all the numbers to one side. So this into minus 2 to the power 7 into a, I'll write the letters as it is. A power 5 and b to the power 7. This is my answer, but it's supposed to simplify it. The answer will for sure be minus. Why? Minus times odd number power. The minus will remain. So minus 792 into 2 power 7 is 2 power 5 is 32, 32 times 60, 64, 128 I guess. I'm not sure. Check. 128. You multiply both of them using a calculator, you'll be getting some answer into a to the power 5, b to the power 7. This is your coefficient. This question is a 3 marker. Numbers are bigger. That's right. You note here. But if you can do with the p power 7, this part has to be shown. I would show for 1. I hope you guys realize why I'm not showing for b, because there was a number attached to it. It is easy, hectic it is. It's easy, but more time, more hectic. The process is, you'll be getting the answers by the time you calculate. It's useless. Just use A and get the answer for R and get this. That's all. This part has to be shown. This part also has to be shown. I will tell you guys to show it itself. Sometimes the teacher is mood. They'll be like, hey, you're supposed to show this part, that's why you're not getting marks. Sometimes they're okay with it. That depends on actually the teacher's mood. So you can't predict that anyways. So what I would do here is I would show both these parts. I would mark this also to be the general equation. Okay? And this time my answer is in the 8th term. I hope you guys realize that. Okay? T8 meaning 8th term. Tn meaning nth term. Or teeth term, there's some useless. Nth term only. Okay? 8th term this is. So, okay. That's it. From both these questions, one will for sure come for your exam. 3 mark. This one's a 3 mark. Please calculate that, guys. 792 times 128. You should not skip that. I'll go to the next slide. That's important for you guys to show. I hope you guys have done with this. These two things also are important. Tomorrow's class, we'll finish this chapter off. Okay? I'll make sure that I do all the important questions. All these things are important for me, but there are a few more. We'll finish off tomorrow's class. Okay? But please don't leave your answers like this. I have not multiplied, you should multiply. So the answer will be minus, it will be a 6-digit to 7-digit number. It will be more in fact. Okay? So that 10 something it will be. Okay, I'm pretty sure the answer is something with 10 only or 11 something. That will be the answer. Yeah. Yeah, correct. So that will be the coefficient. So 8th term, get used to the language because tomorrow's class I'll be telling which term, 7th term, 3rd term. So 8th term was where a to the power 5, b to the power 7 like, but along with that there was some other number. That number was whatever, 10 whatever, with the minus. That's your answer. Getting it? Fine then. See you tomorrow.